Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to the Holy One of Israel, whose name alone is Yah, by saying Hallel-Yah. This evening, we're going to deal with a subject matter. We're going to separate the truth from lies. And I want Israel, I want you to tag all of the Israelites, tag them as I speak to you all this evening. Tag all the Israelites that is under the erroneous opinion that the seed of David is going to come back and rule and be over Israel and be kings over Israel. Tag them all, because this evening we're going to see out of the mouth of Yah, out of the mouth of the mighty Yahuwah. Some say Yahweh, some say Yahweh. Who did he say this was going to return in the last days to be the prince, to be the leader, to be the commander, to be the shepherd, to be the king over all of Israel. And the only one that's going to be over this anointed one, the only one that is going to be over this Messiah, who, of course, is King David himself, is the mighty Yah. So tag all of the Israelites, and they can call in at 513-377-5815. Because, as the scripture says, the righteous are as bold as a lion. And I'm here this evening, bold as a lion, challenging all false prophets, challenging all sons of Belial. Now, why did I say false prophet, son of Belial? Because you got to be very low to call the Most High a liar. And we're going to start this off. We're going to start off in the book of Proverbs. And they all knew I was coming on at 7 o'clock. But like I said, a lot of Israel, they just like to talk. Run their mouth. Can't back nothing up. And all over Facebook making posts and talking about how wrong we are to believe that a dead man is going to come back and rule over Israel. Well, let's set a foundation. Let's see. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, the 30th chapter. Proverbs 30. Proverbs, the 30th chapter. And let's see who Yah said in Proverbs, the 30th chapter. And when you get to Proverbs, the 30th chapter, we're going to read verse number 5. Here it states, every word, not some of the words, but every word of Elohim is pure. He is a shield unto them that put their trust in him. Add thou not unto his words, lest he reprove thee, lest he correct thee, and thou be found a liar. So if you claim you love the Most High, and you tremble at his word, and you fear Yah, and you trust in it, we're going to see exactly who was trusted in Yah, and who has put their trust in man, who have been putting their trust in their friends, their Facebook friends. Because if you love the Most High, even Paul had enough sense to say, let God be true and every man a liar. So let's see who was lying. Then let's go to Isaiah, the 55th chapter. Isaiah, the 55th chapter. And like I told everyone, they will not come in while I'm on, because they don't want to be exposed before the public. They will turn and watch after I'm done. Go to Isaiah, the 55th chapter. We're going to start reading at the 11th verse. It says, here the mighty Yah says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the mighty Yah said, this word is not going to come back void. It's not going to return back empty. The Creator is not a man that he should lie, neither the Son of Man that he have to repent to anyone. Then we go, line upon line, doctrine upon doctrine, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. Then we go to the book of 2 Chronicles. 2 Chronicles. The 20th chapter of 2 Chronicles. And I want you to write all these scriptures down. Take notes. and use them against these false prophets, these sons of Belial, because I call them all out. I am not a respecter of persons. 2 Chronicles, the 20th chapter. And we're going to start reading the 2 Chronicles, the 20th chapter. We're going to start reading at the 20th verse, and you can tune in via Facebook or YouTube. Also, Yehuda one, if you want to watch by YouTube. But go to 2 Chronicles, the 20th chapter, 20 verses says, and they rose early in the morning and went forth into the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, hear me, O Judah, Yehuda, ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in Yah, your Pa, your Elohim, so shall ye be established. Because if you don't believe in Yah, you will not be established. Your doctrine will fail you. It will fail. But if you believe in Yah, if you trust in Yah with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might, there will be no amount of wisdom, no amount of understanding that any teacher, any Kohen, any rabbi can come at you with when you come in the name of Yah, when you believe in Yah, and when you trust in Yah, because the mighty Yah will establish you for trusting in him. Believe his prophets, so shall you prosper. So we're going to see what Yah said through the mouth of his prophets. Now let me ask the question. Do we have any prophets out here today? If so, call in 513-377-5815. If there are prophets amongst us today, call in and let me know. Please, you're more than welcome. But the man y'all said believe there's the prophets, Jeremiah, Isaiah, Moses, Daniel, Zechariah. He wasn't talking about the New Testament folks, because there are no prophets in the New Testament. He was not talking about the Quran, folks. There are no prophets in the Quran. Absolutely none. And we definitely know there are no prophets in the New Testament. So when the Messiah tells you to believe his prophets, he's speaking about the prophets mentioned in the Tanakh, mentioned in the so-called Old Testament. These are the men that he gave his revelations to. These are the women, the prophetess, that he spoke to in visions and in dreams. And you will be established if you believe Yah, trust in Yah, and believe in his prophets. Now, let's go to the book of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy, the 19th chapter of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy chapter 19. And this is a law. This is a law. In Deuteronomy, the 19th chapter. And let's see what the law says. Let's see what the mighty Yah says in Deuteronomy, the 19th chapter. We're going to start reading at the 15th verse. He says, one witness do not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth, at the mouth of two witnesses or at the mouth of three witnesses shall the matter be established. And this is dealing with judgment. And we're dealing with judgment today, because the mighty Yah is going to separate the wheat from the chaff, and let all truths be established at least by the mouth of two or more witnesses. If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before Yah, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. And behold, if the witness be a false witness, and hath testified falsely against his brother, calling his brother a false prophet, for teaching, for speaking in the name of a deity. And the brother said, I speak in the name of Yah. I don't make prophecies, false prophecies. He said, I never made a false prophecy. Why are you telling people I made a false prophecy, brother? And he testified falsely against his brother. Then shall you do unto him as ye had thought to have done unto his brother, so shalt thou put the evil away from amongst you. Now, let me ask you all, what if you testify falsely against what Yah said? What if you are speaking in opposition, witnessing in opposite of what Yah said, the mighty Yahuwah? Good gracious Almighty. Then this law says, who will intervene for you? Because you ain't dealing with man, you're dealing with the Most High. Because if you're not aware of, there was a story of a prophet called Jeremiah. And he told Israel to submit themselves under the king Nebuchadnezzar's yoke for 70 years. Because this is what Yah prophesied. But then you have the prophet, a false prophet, come along called Hananiah. And he said, Israel, he said, Yah remove the iron yoke from off our neck. We don't have to serve the king of Babylon. And then the prophet, Yah told the prophet Jeremiah, he said, go speak to the prophet Hananiah and tell him, why did you tell Israel this? Why did you lie to my people? Because if they didn't submit to the king of Babylon for those 70 years, they would have been destroyed. So why did you lie to them? So this is what Yah told Jeremiah to tell Hananiah. He said, because you talk rebellion against me, you're going to die this same year. But you talk rebellion against the mighty Yah. And Hananiah the prophet, he died. He died that year. So it's very serious. This is not to take lightly. You're dealing with a salvational issue. Go to the book of Amos, the 3rd chapter. Amos chapter 3. Amos the 3rd chapter. Like I said, when I come on, they run. Amos chapter 3. We're going to see what it says in the book of Amos, the 3rd chapter, the 6th verse. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in a city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in a city, and Yahweh, the mighty Yahuwah, have not done it? Can there be any evil at all, and Yahweh have not done it? How could you give credit to a virus and you're not giving the credit to the Most High, Yah? A virus that has taken out millions of people. All you talking about is the virus. How many people the virus done killed? Yah said, I don't give my glory to no one. Yah said, I kill and I make alive. The mighty Yah said, I'm the one that wounds and I am the one that heals. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. He said, surely God, Elohim will do nothing. Nothing at all when it comes to his revelations about destruction and doom concerning nations and concerning people. He will do nothing at all, and especially his messiahs, but until he first revealed his secrets unto his servants, the prophets. So if there is going to be a messiah that's going to come back in the last days, surely Wouldn't the Most High Yah know his name? Wouldn't the Most High Yah let us know who it is? Or would he leave us guessing? Guessing. Now, many people think it was the Christ of the New Testament. They thought it was Yahweh. They thought it was Yeshua. J-E-S-U-S. But lo and behold, Yah said not one mumbling word to any prophet about Yahweh by name, about Yeshua by name, to any prophet. And I mean any. So we're gonna see who he did prophesy by name. Now we know the Creator said in the last days, according to the book of Malachi, the 4th chapter, he said, remember the law of Moses, my servant, for all of Israel with the statutes and judgments. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great and dreadful day of Yah. And he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers. At least I come to smite the earth with a curse. Now the mighty Yah let us know by name Elijah was going to come back. Now why wouldn't he do that by name with the Messiah, his anointed one? And I'm letting all Israel know that he did. And now let's get into the scriptures, because I teach that it's David. That it's David. And let me first start off by letting the world know, what did David say about this? What did David say about this himself? And let's first go to Psalms 71. Psalm 71. Psalms the 71st chapter. What did David say? In Psalm 71, in verse number 20, he said, thou which hast showed me great and sore troubles, shall quicken me again, and shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. Hold up. What is this? What you mean, bring you up from the depths of the earth? The dead don't live. Once you dead, that's it. It's over with. Well, you almost knew something that David didn't know. And David said, you shall bring me up again from the depths of the earth. Thou shalt increase my greatness and comfort me on every side. Let's see what else David said. We go to Psalm 16. Psalm 16. What else did David say about this? In Psalms the 16th chapter, the 10th verse, he said, for thou wilt not leave my soul in Sheol, neither wilt thou suffer thy Holy One to see corruption. Once again, David is speaking about some type of resurrection, some type of return back to life. Israel, wake up. Get your heads out your behinds. I'm going to be nice tonight. Nice as possible. Then we go to Psalm 17. What did David say to Psalm 17? Verse 15. He said, as for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. And that's going to be the only way you can behold the mighty Yah's face. Not in wickedness, not lying, not as a hypocrite on Facebook lying. And then when I challenge y'all to debate me publicly, no one steps forward in the Israelite community. With all these teachers, all these leaders, all these coins, then I say I tone it down. Because if I debate you, it's going to be a bloodbath. Just have a dialogue with Brother YisraEL. I let you do a 15-minute presentation. I speak for 15 minutes. Then we question one another. How about that? Ain't you scared to even do that? He said, I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. Now this is David. David. Now, let's go away from David. And let me help the deaf, dumb, and blind out in dealing with David's seed. What did the mighty Yah say about David's seed? Go to the book of 2 Samuel. Go to 2 Samuel. And anyone on YouTube got any questions or comments would like to call in? Call. Question me while I'm teaching live. 513-377-5815. Go to 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter. 2 Samuel chapter 7. And when you get 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter, you're going down so I don't scare them. 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter. Because I didn't know we have so many faint-hearted men in Israel. The Creator said, leave them at home with the women and children. They can't go out to war, would you? And this is spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare. And Yah done armed me and gave the house of Yehudah, the houses of Israel, the knowledge to destroy all lies and deceit. And this was taught over 50 years ago, folks. At least we've been knowing this. At least over 50 years ago. This is not it's new to a lot of you all. Because you didn't come under the teacher that I came under. But he taught this over 50 years ago. So I'm not bringing out something that Yah done showed me. He showed my teacher this. And I knew it was the truth. Because Yah don't lie. So I don't take credit for this. I praise Yah for having a good teacher. Elisha Israel. So go to 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter. And show you what Yah said about the seed of David. 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter. We're going to start reading at the 11th verse. This is what Yah told the prophet Nathan to tell David. We're going to read at verse 11 of 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter. It says, and that since the time that I commanded judges to be over my people Israel, and have caused thee to rest from all thy enemies. Also Yah telleth thee that he will make thee an house. And when thy days be fulfilled, speaking to David, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, like all the righteous, I will set up thy seed, David. I'm going to set up your seed after you gone, after you have been deceased, after the Ruach comes back to me, which shall proceed out of your loins. And I will establish his kingdom. He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men. So you know this knock out the Christ of the New Testament out the box. This knock out Yeshua right out the box. Now, why did I say that? Because do they not teach that he was the only perfect man to walk the earth? And if this is so, the Most High would have no need to say if he commit iniquity, because he don't commit sin. He don't commit iniquity. He's perfect. But he wasn't talking about the Christ New Testament here. He was talking about King Solomon here. And I'm going to show you all. And right here he said, but my mercy shall not depart away from him, as I took it away from Saul, whom I put away before thee. And this is 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 11 to 15. Now, let's go. And then I'm still dealing with the seed of David. Let's go to Psalms 132. Psalms 132. Still dealing with the seed of David. And we're going to get to Jeremiah 33. We're going to get to all those. Psalms 132. I don't run from those scriptures. That's why I invite the Israelite community to call in. If I miss a scripture, call in. 132. Go to Psalms 132. Bring forth your witnesses. 132. That's all that I ask. 132. Psalms 132. And we're going to read in Psalms 132. We're going to start reading at verse number 11. Yah has sworn in truth unto David. He would not turn from it. No, he will not. Of the fruit of thy body will I set upon thy throne. Yes, he will. And he did, Israel. If thy children will keep my covenant and my testimonies that I shall teach them, their children shall also sit upon the throne forevermore. Notice what he's saying. He said, if thy children, David, will keep his covenant. That's a condition. The covenant had conditions based upon sitting upon the throne when you're dealing with David's seed. For Yah have chosen Zion. He had desired it for his habitation. He didn't choose Mecca. He didn't choose Damona. Now, none of you like to run to Damona and Ghana and other places in Africa trying to flee punishment. But there's no place you could run to escape the wrath of Yah. Absolutely no place. And the only basis for true freedom is having your own land. And Damona is not our own land at all. Yah gave us the land of Canaan, Jerusalem. And I'm not going back home until Yah take us back home. I'm not going back to the motherland being under somebody else's government, going from one government to another regime. That's not fulfilling of prophecy of Israel coming back, being redeemed back home. At all. When you're dealing with the Israelites being gathered from the four corners of the earth. But right here he said, for Yah have chosen Zion. He had desired it for his habitation. This is my rest forever. Zion. Here will I dwell. For I have desired it. I will abundantly bless her provision. I will satisfy her poor with bread. I will also clothe her priest with salvation. And her saints shall shout aloud for joy. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise Yah. We back home in Jerusalem. We back home in our land. Where we rule ourselves. We govern ourselves. I will also clothe her priest with salvation. Her saints shall cry aloud for her. There will I make the horn of David to bud. The government of David to bud. Tag them all, Sabrina. Tag all the ones that's been talking. Been running off at the mouth. Here it says, I have ordained a lamp for my anointed. His enemies. And they all on Facebook talking about the seed of David. Or Christ going to be the one to sit up on the throne. And they all running from little Yoel, little Shiloh. His enemies will I clothe with shame. But upon himself shall his crown flourish. Speaking about David, not any of his seed. The crown is going to flourish upon David himself, folks. This is future prophecy. Future prophecy. Then let's go to the book of 1 Chronicles, the 28th chapter. Let's see what David said here in regard to himself and his seed. 1 Chronicles chapter 28. They ain't bold, they ain't working with nothing. And when you ain't working with nothing, you don't got confidence in your teaching, you ain't gonna challenge what I'm teaching. None of them. Like I said, leave them at home with the women and children. 1 Chronicles chapter 28. I know I'm teaching the truth. I will put my life on the line for what I'm teaching and dealing with this. Now, can y'all say the same? Talking about the seed of David. 1 Chronicles chapter 28. We're going to start reading. Let's see what David said. 1 Chronicles, the 28th chapter, the 2nd verse. And David, the king, stood up upon his feet and said, hear me, my brothers. And I'm saying that today. Hear me, my brothers, my sisters, and my people. As for me, I had in my heart to build an house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and for the footstool of our Elohim, and I made ready for the building. But Elohim said to me, you ain't gonna build my house, David. You ain't gonna build it because you have shed too much blood. You've been fighting lions, killing bears, chopping off Goliath's head with his own sword. I can't let you build my house, David. Your hands is full of blood. But howbeit, look what David said in verse 4. Yah Elohim, the mighty Yahuwah, the mighty Yahweh, Ahaya, El Shaddai, the God of Israel. He chose me before all the house of my father to be king over Israel. For how long? What does this say? Forever. Forever. For we have chosen Judah to be the ruler, and that's what the other tribes waiting for. They're waiting on Judah to return back to the motherland. The head tribe, the leader tribe, the chief tribe, Yehudah. And Yehudah is in America, part of the house of Yehudah. Today, and the other tribes is waiting on us to return back. He chose Yehudah to be the ruler in the house of Judah, the house of my father, and amongst the sons of my father. He liked to make me king over all Israel. So this is what David knew. He knew he was coming back to be king, folks. And of all my sons, he had chosen Solomon, not Christ, not Yahushua, not Haile Selassie, not Muhammad. My son to sit upon the throne of the kingdom of Yah over Israel. And he said unto me, Solomon, thy son, he shall build my house. And this is what I read to y'all in 2 Samuel, the 7th chapter, the 11th to the 15th verse. But what you didn't see in that chapter is this. He shall build an house in my courts, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I will be his father. Moreover, I will establish his kingdom forever. He told Solomon the same thing, forever. But watch this. If King Solomon, if he be constant to do my commandments and my judgment as it this day. And of course, there is a condition attached to Solomon as his seed. You didn't see this when it came to David. I just read it to you. David said, Yah chose him to be king over Israel forever because he knew he was going to come back in the last days to be the king over all Israel. But when it came to the other Israelites, the other sons of David, that's when he compared all the kings to King David. He said, you good, but your heart is not like David, your father. He compared all of them to King David. That's how much special David was and is. And he might be here as I speak amongst you all. He might be here in the United States. And when Yah calls him, he's going to humble this nation as he did with Moses with the Pharaoh. Then let's go and see what the prophets say about this matter. Let's go to Isaiah, the 55th chapter. The prophets versus the no prophets in Israel today. All the ones that's talking. Because I asked, who is a prophet today? And of course, no one called in yet. 513-377-5815. If you a prophet, call in and let me know. Isaiah, let's go to Isaiah the 55th chapter. We're going to see what the prophet said now. Isaiah the 55th chapter. Let's see. Let's see. And if you miss any of this lesson, I suggest you all tune in from the beginning because it's very serious. Isaiah the 55th chapter. And look what it says here. In verse 3, he says, incline your ear and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. That's why a lot of you all gonna die. Maybe even myself. Because we're not listening. So what am I, y'all say? I give you 2 ears to listen and 1 mouth to talk. And you must listen when he speaks to you. Now, how do he speak to you? Through his servants. Through the men that he chose. Because he's not speaking to you personally today. Y'all say, I will raise up amongst them prophets from amongst their brethren, like unto thee, Moses, and I will put my words in the mouth of my prophets, and they shall speak all that I shall command them. That's why when I teach, I only teach what thus saith Yah. I don't teach my opinion. And if I don't know something, I tell you I don't know. I didn't get back with you. Because you cannot be a presumptuous teacher when you're teaching the word of Yah. You can't add to his word. You can't take away from his word. You leave his word alone. Because his laws is perfect. Leave the law alone. Stop changing stuff up. Stop lying to the people. And here the mighty Yah said, I will make an everlasting covenant with you. Even the sure mercies of David. Now, what are you talking about David for? David been dead for hundreds of years. What are you talking about the sure mercies of David? Behold, I have given him, verse 4, for a witness to the people. What? What are you talking about? You giving a dead man for a witness to the people? A leader? What? David, a leader? And a what? A commander to the people? So he's not going to be just asking. He's going to be what? He's going to be giving orders. Because that's what a commander do. He commands. He gives instruction. He gives orders. And if you don't be in line when he gives the order, you die. Because you're rebellious. You don't listen. He's going to be not as nice as Moses. And Moses was a warrior. Moses will take your head off. Moses was the most meekest man in Israel. But you're going to deal with a man with a totally different spirit. Not that he's not going to be meek, because he is going to be meek and humble. David. All the great warriors and righteous men were humble and meek. But this is a man that is a warrior spirit. Fight the battles of Yah. Go against all liars, all false prophets, all sons of Belial. And right here he said, I'm going to make it with you if you hear an everlasting covenant, even the sure mercies of David. Then let's go to the book of Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. Jeremiah chapter 30. This is why y'all ain't going to call in Jeremiah, the 30th chapter. Because they ain't got nothing but emotions. Read things that they think they understand it. They don't have no understanding of it at all. Because the book is told it's sealed. It's sealed. And they got to give it to someone that is learned. That y'all done showed the truth too. And the ones that he showed the truth, they accept it. So these are the people that can only teach it properly. Those that read what y'all say, accept it, they can teach it. And they can teach it with backbone, with zeal. They can teach it with no hesitation. Without anybody calling in that so-called no Hebrew, Paleo, modern Aramaic. Because when you look into these prophecies, it's the actual David, not his seed. Jeremiah, the 30th chapter, verse 5. It said, thus said Yah, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Now, who you fearing today? Let me ask who y'all trembling for today. I know many of y'all tremble before the Europeans. You tremble before your bosses, your supervisors. You tremble at the wrong thing. And of course, the New Testament said tremble to your slave masters if he was Christ. That's what the New Testament says. But nevertheless, who are you trembling? Who do you fear? Who do you reverence? Because after being shown what you're going to see today, you still come out a fool talking about the seed of David, you couldn't fear Yah. You couldn't fear Yah. You couldn't tremble at the word of the Most High. He said, ask ye now and see what a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loin as a woman in travail. And all faces are turned into paleness, thinking about the last days. Yaakov's trouble at last. For that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble. But he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yah of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck. Talking about who yoke? The white man's yoke. And not only the Europeans' yoke, any other nation that got their foot on our people's neck, Yah's going to break that yoke. So how can the 400 years be up and the yoke is still on our people's neck? Talking about 1619 to 2019, 1619 to 2020. And the yoke is still on our neck. 1619 to 2021. The yoke is still on our neck. Ain't no yoke being busted. No bonds being burst. But he said, for it shall come to pass. And that day said Yahweh, I will break his yoke from off thy neck and will burst thy bonds. And strangers shall no more serve themselves of Israel, but they shall serve the mighty Yahuwah, their God, and David. David. You notice he said David, not the seed of David. You all think Yah is drunk? He don't know what he's talking about. He don't know the difference between the seed of David and David. Sound like lunatics out here. Though I say Israel as a whole needs psychiatric treatment. They done lost their mind. Yah says David, they say the seed of David. David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Unto them. David knew it in his Psalms. The prophet Isaiah said it. The prophet Jeremiah said it. Then we go to the book of Ezekiel, the 34th chapter. Ezekiel chapter 34. Let's see what this says. Ezekiel, the 34th chapter. Ezekiel, the 34th chapter. Let's start reading at the 20th verse. It said, therefore, thus saith Yah Elohim unto them, behold, I, even I, will judge between the fat cattle and between the lean cattle. Yes, Yah said, I'm a judge. I'm a judge between the wicked and the righteous. Matter of fact, in the last day, he said the righteous is going to judge and discern between those that are wicked, those that serve Elohim and those that serve Elohim not. Because ye have thrust with side and with shoulder, and pushed all the disease with your horns, till ye have scattered them abroad. Therefore will I save my flock, and they shall no more be a prey for you lying pimps. And I will judge between cattle and cattle, and I will set up one shepherd over them, and he shall feed them. Even my servant David. It couldn't be, oh no, there gotta be an error. There's gotta be a misprint, y'all. Surely he meant the seed of David. No, he meant what he said because his word don't come back void. He just don't say something and then have to come back and come out and say, oh, I made a mistake. See, he's not like me. I might make mistakes. And I come back to correct it. Or you. Yeah, I say, I don't make no mistake. I'm perfect. I'm personification of perfection. And my servant David, he shall feed them. And he shall be their shepherd. He shall be their leader. He shall be their commander. And Yah will be their God. I'm going to be over David. And my servant David, not only is he going to be the leader, the commander, the shepherd. My servant David will be a prince amongst them. Good gracious almighty. A prince amongst Israel. Good gracious almighty. Now, what else did he say about David and about this prince stuff? David, prince, leader, commander. Go to the book of Ezekiel, the 44th chapter. Ezekiel chapter 44. The 44th chapter of Ezekiel. What did Yah say here? He said, then he brought me back the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looketh towards the east, and it was shut. Then said Yahuwah unto me, this gate shall be shut, it shall not be open, and no man shall enter in by it, because Yah Elohim of Israel have entered in by it. Therefore this gate shall be shut. It is for the prince. The prince, he shall sit in it to eat bread before Yah. Who did the money I just say was the prince? This is a future prophecy, folks. We know he was the man that ate the shewbread, King David, and gave it to his men when they was hungry. Now the shewbread was for the priest. It was hollow bread. And David ate it. Y'all didn't kill David for eating the shewbread. Why? You ever scratch your head and say, why? Huh? Ask yourself. Now don't you try to eat the shewbread. Your head get chopped off. You can't do what David do. It is for the prince. Then let's go to Ezekiel 37 chapter. Ezekiel chapter 37. All these witnesses, Shiloh, Israel bringing forth. Go to Ezekiel the 37th chapter. What did Yah say here? In the 37th chapter of Ezekiel. Now here, It's a last day prophecy of redemption, of returning back home. All of the Israelites. And they're going to see what y'all said here. Ezekiel the 37th chapter, the 21st verse. It says, say unto them, thus said Yahuwah, Elohim, behold, I will take the Negro, the African American, black man and woman, the Asiatic black man. I'm going to take some of the call themselves Moors and Muslims and Christians and Messianic Israelites. I'm going to take the children of Israel from amongst the heathen. Yes. And he's going to bring them into the wilderness of the people. That's a whole different subject matter. When they be gone, and I will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, because Israel is divided today. Divided on everything, on every doctrine you could imagine. Israelites is divided on. Divided. And right here, the y'all saying, and one king shall be king to them all. And they shall be no more two nations. No more the house of Judah, Yehuda, no more the house of Israel. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. No more northern kingdom, no more southern kingdom. They're just going to be one. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any of their transgressions. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places. Ghana, Damona, Europe, if they in China, wherever they at. I'm gonna bring home. I'm gonna bring the Colossians, better Israel. I'm gonna bring the Limba. I'm gonna bring the Ashantis. I'm gonna bring these Israelite tribes, and some of them most of them is already in the motherland, but they're not in their homeland. They're not at home. And y'all say I'm gonna bring them out of all their dwelling places. So y'all moving to Ghana, moving back to Damona. They're just a temporary residence right now, wherein they have sinned, and I will cleanse them so that they be my people, and I will be their Pa, their God, their Elohim. And David, my servant, shall be king over all the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, over all Israel. Now, why is he keep saying David, 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 David? And they all shall have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgment, observe my statutes, and do them. And they shall dwell in the land that I given unto Yaakov, my servant, wherein your fathers have dwelt. And they shall dwell therein, even they and their children, and their children's children, forever. So don't look like they're going to die, do it. Do this like everlasting salvation to you all, as it does to me. Now, if you don't have eyes to see, you don't see it. I see eternal life. This is the reward for the righteous, for Abraham, Yishak, Yaakov, Noah, Daniel, Job, Rebecca, Leah, Rachel, all the great prophets and prophetesses that have gone before us. And I'm praying even for my brother Malcolm X. I'm praying for my brother Khalid Muhammad. I'm praying for Marcus Garvey. I'm praying for Sister Harriet Tubman. All the people that love our people and fought and died to try to liberate them. Vote for them. They will give their lives for them. You got Israelites that know y'all won't give their life for a rabbit. They will let their own mother get choked by the police and sit back and watch. Sit back and watch. One cop come in their neighborhood and they scatter. They run. Thousands of them. And they flee. They flee. Scared to intervene, scared to go to jail. And right here he said, David shall be their prince forever. So nobody coming back to sit on David's lap. Nobody coming to the east gate to eat bread, to sit before Yah, other than King David. What you read in Ezekiel the 44th chapter, folks. He said, moreover, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. I will place them and multiply them, and I will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle also shall be with them. Yea, I will be their God. I'm going to be their power. No longer Allah, no Buddha, no Christ, no sun gods, Ra. Keep those Kemetic gods, those Arabic gods, those Greek gods. I'm going to be their power. I'm going to humble all Israel. And if you don't be humble before me, you're going to die, says the mighty Yah. My tabernacle also should be with them. Yeah, I will be there. Elohim, and they shall be my people. And the heathens shall know. All the heathens, all the pagans shall know that I, Yahuwah, do sanctify Israel. For my sanctuary shall be in the midst of them forevermore. The temple rebuilt again. Yah is what Israel. Once again. Forever this time. No more captivity. No more pain. No more suffering. Total peace. Your mind can't even imagine peace. Because your life is in a state of chaos. Then we go to the book of Hosea, the 3rd chapter. Hosea chapter 3. Hosea chapter 3. Then I'm going to straighten out the confusion for you, Israel, that believe you talking about still think the seed. Hosea, the 3rd chapter. And I want you to call in. Call in 513-377-5815. Hosea, the 3rd chapter. Let's read verse 4. It said, for the children of Israel shall back many days without a king and without a prince, without a sacrifice. That not Christ right out the box. And without an image, and without an ephod, without a teraphim. And afterwards shall the children of Israel return where? Return back home. And see Yah, their power. And you can interpret it, they return back to Yah. And David, their king, and shall fear Yah and his goodness in the last days, the latter days. This is a last day prophecy of Hosea chapter 3, verse 4 and 5. They shall see Yah, their power, and David, their king. And I told you all, according to the law of Deuteronomy 19 chapter, every truth shall be established by the mouth of 2 or more witnesses. I done brought forth right now at least 12 witnesses. At least 12. And if a false witness is testifying falsely against his brother, he paid for that. Now imagine all the people on Facebook testifying falsely against what y'all said about his Messiah. How do you think y'all feel about that? Do you not know there's going to be a judgment for that? Because you are now teaching rebellion against what y'all said? Only a fool will go against all these prophets. And they can't even tell the people that they are a prophet. Then we go to the book of Jeremiah, the 33rd chapter. Jeremiah chapter 33. Jeremiah, the 33rd chapter. They question me, I'm lying. I'm running from no teachers. Bring your Hebrew with you. But y'all, Shiloh, don't run. Because I know what I'm teaching is right. Know it. No doubts about it. Will put my life on the line for this. Jeremiah 33. 33rd chapter, we're going to start reading. In the 33rd chapter of Jeremiah, let's start reading at the, if y'all missed, let's start reading at the 14th verse. It said, behold, the days come, said Yah, that I will perform the good thing which I promised unto the house of Israel, unto the house of Judah. In those days, and at that time, will I cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David. And he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land. Who is this branch? Who is this? This branch is going to grow up unto David. In those days, Yehudah shall be safe, and Jerusalem shall dwell safe. And this is the name where she shall be called. And who are outright, she shall be called. Why does it say she? How is this talking about a female of the seed of David is going to sit upon the throne, folks? Hello? Now I need somebody to say that. How is this talking about a female that's going to be sitting upon the throne of David? That's going to be king. Now I know our sisters going to be the queens. Hello? Somebody explain this to me. Well, let me explain it to y'all. Because they can't explain it. Why I say she. Go to Jeremiah the 23rd chapter. Because this is not talking about when you're dealing with this branch. Talking about the king, folks. Go to Jeremiah the 23rd chapter. Jeremiah chapter 23. Verse 5 said, behold, the days come, said Yah, that I will raise unto David. No, he said, unto David. I'm going to raise up unto David a righteous branch. And a king shall reign and prosper and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days, Jehudah shall be saved and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is the name whereby he shall be called. Uh-oh. One says she and one says he. Now, is this a contradiction? No, it's not. Well, who is this branch? That's why I said you got to learn how to study. Now, let me show you all who is this branch. Right here. Go to the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter. This is just one place. Isaiah, the 60th chapter. I could bring you many witnesses. Isaiah, the 60th chapter. And let's start reading Isaiah, the 60th chapter. Verse 21. It said, thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever. The branch of my planting. The work of my hands that I may be glorified. He's talking about the remnant, folks, the elect. This branch is the elect of Israel. The elect of Judah. No. That's why one chapter said she and one chapter said he. And the only one that's going to be over the branch, the people, is David. Now let me show you another chapter. Isaiah, the 4th chapter. Go to Isaiah, the 4th chapter. Isaiah chapter 4. When you have not come under a teacher, any Israelite, let me tell you, student, you should at least been under some type of guidance before you start teaching anything for at least 5 years. Minimum. But most of you all is Facebook renegades. You get a little knowledge, think you know something, and you go teaching doctrine lying to people, causing Israel to err. And for your folly, the Maya said, you taught rebellion. You teach a rebellion on Facebook. You teach a rebellion to my people. You lying on me. And when you lie on me like the prophet had an idea, you're going to die. So I said, this is a salvation issue. Because y'all said, I hate liars. I detest liars. But let's go to Isaiah, the 4th chapter. He said, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies. Isaiah, the 4th chapter. He said, in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. In that day shall the branch of God be beautiful and glorious. Now, who is this? He's talking about the people. And the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that escape of Israel, escape the tribulation. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even everyone that is written amongst the living in Jerusalem, when Yahuwah shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall purge the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. That's why y'all say, I'm going to judge between the fat and the lean. And a lot of us going to burn forever because you teaching lies. Stop lying. I call you out, challenge you, you run. Can't come with no witnesses at all. Period. At all. To back up your madness. He's talking about the people. Let's go to the book of Isaiah, the 65th chapter. No, it's something that I've missed in Jeremiah. it was something that I missed. Let me go back there. In Jeremiah, 33rd chapter. Let me see. Yeah, verse 17. In Jeremiah, 33rd chapter. Go back to Jeremiah, 33rd chapter. This is what I missed. And it said, verse 60, in those days shall Yehuda be safe, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith she shall be called, Yah our righteousness. For thus saith Yah, David shall never want a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Israel. Now, why did it say this? David shall never want a man to sit upon the throne of the house of Israel. Why? Because Yah told David, you're going to be the one that's going to sit upon the throne. Upon your head shall your own crown flourish. This man already knew he was coming back to be king over Israel forever. And there is no other seed of David that's worthy to sit upon the throne other than David himself, Yahweh's anointed. There is none. Show me a better candidate than David. Absolutely none. Now let's go to Isaiah, the 65th chapter. Then I'm taking phone calls. Isaiah, the 65th chapter. And Isaiah 45th, then I'm taking phone calls. Isaiah, the 65th chapter. And I want to see who called later. Isaiah, the 65th chapter. Let's see what this says. Isaiah, the 65th chapter, the 9th verse. He said, I will bring forth a seed out of Yaakov, and out of Judah, and the inheritor of my mountains. And my elect shall inherit it. And my servant shall dwell there. His elect is going to inherit it. The Holy Land. Then they go to Isaiah, the 45th chapter. Isaiah chapter 45. Verse 4 said, for Yaakov, my servant's sake, in Israel, my elect. I have even called thee by thy name. He's talking about speaking to King Cyrus. I have surveyed thee, though thou hast not known me. So he said, his elect, the branch, the righteous. Folks, because after y'all purge out all the rebels, the righteous, only a remnant going to be saved. Only a remnant. Now, I still got scriptures I ain't even bring forth. It's enough. Now, the line is open. 513-377-5815. Call in. I already believe the seed of David. Prove it. Back it up now. Oh, get back on Facebook and correct yourself for lying. Because if you're not humble enough to admit that you made a mistake, or that it was an honest mistake because you didn't study, or you listened to your friend, you trusted in your own heart, and you're not humble yourself, because you don't got to humble yourself before me. You got to humble yourself before the Most High. But at least you can do is admit that you was wrong before the public. That's the first sign of healing. Confess your sins to Yah. That's number one. Because against him, we sin. We violate the law. And when you doubt what he says, you won't be established, you won't prosper. And he's going to count it as wickedness. The scripture said Abraham believed in Yah. And Yah counted that as righteousness. But what do you think will happen if you don't believe what he tells you? And he's telling you David through Hosea. He's telling you David through Jeremiah. He's telling you David through Ezekiel. David is telling you it's him coming back. And who's telling you that the seed of David is coming back? Your deceitful, lying heart. That's all. Your deceitful, lying heart. Now you notice my phone ain't rung. All these leaders, all these Kohens, all these rabbis, all these morays, all these students on Facebook making posts. I mean, it's all over Facebook. We're going to have next week, we're going to have a program dealing with, is it the seed of David or is it David? A post over here. Y'all teaching like the Christian concept. A dead man coming back to rule over Israel. Let me tell you all, Ain't none of us worthy to tie our forefathers' shoelaces. Who think they more righteous than Abraham? Who think they more righteous than Noah? Who think today that they more righteous than Job or David? Any of the great men that came before us, greater than Moses? None of us. Drink up iniquity like water. Lie, cheat, steal. Do everything under the sun. Commit adultery. Slander. One brother said it's like I'm practicing idolatry, talking about a dead man coming back. I invited him to the debate. Nah, yeah, I ain't, I ain't trying to get no notoriety. It ain't about no notoriety. It's about the truth. One guy debate. Just let me question you. Will you question me? Because he's scared. Scared because it ain't working with nothing. Got no backbone. They real bold when they on Facebook making posts. But when you start calling them out, ain't nobody coming forward. And I knew they wouldn't. Because there is no wisdom. There is no understanding. There is no counsel against Yah. Absolutely none. Absolutely none. Anybody on YouTube that want to comment?
No, someone just said, was it sleep, deep, soothing meditation 123?
Deep sleep meditation. Well, I need to do some deep sleep meditation of dealing with Israel.
They said it's something new with you all coming on Mondays. That's all.
Yeah, I did it. The Truth or Tradition show will be back next Sunday, 7 p.m. Separating all truth from lies. Next Sunday. So I can deal with a lot of these false doctrines out here on Facebook. Because I want to keep y'all day set apart just for teaching the law and exalting the Most High. And that's what y'all instructed me to do. Exalt him, magnify him, teach his people the laws, because they fall from the law. They don't even know the law. His commandments. And then on the first day of the week, tear down Islam, tear down Judaism, tear down Rastafarism, tear down all the isms and schisms and false concepts is being brought forth. And that's what they're going to be used for. Truth or tradition. And we're going to have some guests as well. And I invite teachers to come in and teach. The only class that I know of here in Cincinnati that will allow the teacher to come in and teach a whole lesson. A whole lesson. But now, let me correct it. Maria Shia them do too as well. Maria Shia, my brother, they do as well. The only one that I know. Not that the other teachers, because I don't know. But I know we do. We do. But if there's nobody calling in, you got questions, got comments.
What time are you going to do this show on first day?
7 o'clock. Then I can go. I'm done. All I hear is crickets. Crickets. Or maybe those are the cicadas coming early. Crickets and cicadas. That's all I'm hearing. That's all I'm hearing. Last time. Who want to call in? 513-377-5815. Your last chance. I'm going to count down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Damn. Too late. Too late. With that being said, Shema, Israel, Yah, Eloheinu, Yah, Akkad. Hero of Israel, Yah, Elohim, Yah is one. May Yah bless thee and keep thee. May Yah make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. May the mighty Yah lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Hallelujah! 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 Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. Praise the mighty Yah. Yah is righteous. Yah is holy. And let Yah be magnified.
Hallelujah.
I'm out.